Greetings, folks. It's Kerry here. I am trying something a little different today. I'm doing a weekly update on a number of different topics. I'm giving you guys a chance to interact directly. There's a chat box on here. It's the first Friday. I will call it Full Tilt Friday. And the idea is to get ideas out into the universe that I've been thinking about that lend itself to living let's call it a full and productive life. And the topic of the day is going to be patience. Now, it's appropriate since we're in this pandemic phase here, and there's a lot of uncertainty, especially in businesses like my own. My own business is a team building and training company, which usually relies on people meeting in person and working with groups. At the end of February, all that disappeared, and I had resigned myself to essentially waiting to see how things would resolve. And it's been a little bit of an exercise in patience, but I was from the very outset thinking, okay, let's just wait and see what happens. Take advantage of this time as best we can. Well, here we go. First comment here. Getting geared up for 24 miles. Good for you. And I'm glad you like my channel. I just came back from a run myself. Today is actually one of those days where patience, again, topic of the day, pays off. I've had a few high mileage days. I've been feeling a little bit creaky. And today when I went out, I had run yesterday morning, and then I had about 36 hours until this evening when I went out, and I felt so much better. So Dave, I hope you have 24 miles. That's a lot of mileage. So good luck with that. I'll probably look to hit something like that this weekend as well. The other option you've got, if you're not exercising patience with this whole COVID and pandemic situation, basically equates to resistance. And if you're encountering resistance in your life, it's probably not serving you very well. So if the opposite of patience is resistance, probably not going to work so well. Hey, Brian, welcome. Yeah, you're very welcome. This is a little bit of an experiment, see how it goes. The other thing that I want to talk about with respect to patience is a race that I have been undertaking over the last month and 7 weeks, let's say. It started at the beginning of May. It was Laz's Great Virtual Race Across Tennessee. The Great Virtual Race Across Tennessee is a replacement for a race that the famous Gary Cantrell or Lazarus Lake of Barkley Marathons and Big's Backyard Ultra fame put on. And because that's not on this year, they decided they would do a virtual version. And the virtual version essentially meant that anybody could enter, and mileage would count, whether you're on a treadmill, whether you're out walking around town, or whether you're out for a run or going up and down the mountain. Any miles that you went out and intentionally went out to do would count towards your total for getting across the state of Tennessee. The state of Tennessee is 635 miles wide. So with a 635-mile course, if you do over 4 months, which is the period of time you've got to complete it, if you do 5 miles, just a little bit over 5 miles a day, you would complete the race. So ultra people being what they are, and both patient and impatient folks started to think, okay, if I can do 5 miles a day, then maybe if I do 10 miles a day, I'll be able to get all the way across Tennessee and back. And so, the previous month in April decided I was going to try and get 10 miles a day in with 1,000 feet of gain every day, which I did. And I decided I would go all the way across Tennessee and back. So yesterday I have, my approach has just been steady grinding every day, getting out and getting miles in, going for a walk with my wife if I don't have quite enough miles, going out with my daughter, going around town, going multiple times, finishing at night, and just taking it easy in some sense. I'm not trying to win the fastest race. I'm not trying to be the one to cross the finish line first. And there ended up being 19,700, something like that, people in this race. And I got 1,000 miles in. So across Tennessee, and back part way. I've got 270 miles to go. But the only way you can really approach something like this is with consistency and patience. If you don't have it, you will flare out quickly. You'll burn bright and then leave. And there's some people who've done that. They've run across the state very quickly, and then their mileage has petered out. I'm just going to keep soldiering along. My original goal was to get across Tennessee and back, which would be a 1,270 mile run. But it looks like I'll be able to probably finish that up. I've got 250 miles to go and 2 months and a week to do it in. So I'll probably be able to go for 3, which puts me in out of 19,500 people in the top 100. I think I'm like in the 85th position or something like that, which equates to the top 0.5%. So if you are actually patient, there's potential for you to get all the way into the top 0.5% of a bunch of numbskull ultra people who are all out there running like a bunch of mad fools, like we can't be. But the only way to do it again is patience. The other way patience pays off. I've been an entrepreneur for most of my life, actually. And the beginning phase of a company is almost inevitably something that requires patience for you to get through. If you're impatient, again, you need that paycheck every week. You need to see the money coming in immediately. Probably not a good choice for you. But entrepreneurship, for example, the last company that I started, this training and team building company called FullTilt Team Development. We started 10 years ago, roughly. And the first 2 or 3 years, money was just kind of trickling in. There wasn't that much in it. I partnered up with a company that was existing and ended up, I was the entrepreneurial component of that equation. They were all working for a company, and we partnered up, and it became quite productive. We're now independent, but the net result of the patience was 3 years in, 4 years in, started to earn a pretty decent living. And that ended up paying off quite nicely. We've sold something in the order of $14 million worth of training. And the company that I've been running has 0 employees. So it's been an interesting ride. And the only way to move forward is patience. And now with business having dropped off a cliff, meaning there's nothing in the foreseeable future calendar wise for that sort of thing, especially meeting in person, I am once more resigned to just being patient and working through it, continuing to attract potential clients, continuing to work on my own content, which is why I'm sort of doing this as well. With my YouTube channel, I am that close to getting 10,000 subscribers, which is a bit of a benchmark. And then I'd like to ramp it up from there. But I understand my content's a little bit different. It doesn't have a ton of, it's not a wide appeal, but it's wide enough that I think there's a market for it. And I'll be sharing some of the things that I'm thinking, some of the content that I'm developing. I've got a book project in as well, which is requiring patience. Another interesting patient element is the last couple months, I have opted to do what we'll call a pyramid of exercise. So the first one in May, I did a push-up pyramid where the first day I did 100 push-ups on May 1st. And then every day I added 10 push-ups. So May 2nd, I did 110 push-ups. May 3rd, I did 120 push-ups. Worked out all the way to May 31st, where the total was 400 push-ups, which for me, that's quite a bit. And I kind of worked my way up, and I just did them throughout the day. Again, in a very patient manner. I didn't need to bang them all out first thing in the morning. I probably would have killed myself if I did that. But I worked my way up, and let's see, it ended up being 7,750 push-ups altogether over the month, which is pretty good for me. This month, I'm working on pull-ups, which is a little harder, but so it's harder because it's a harder exercise, but I also need an actual pull-up bar. And usually I'm traveling, I'm doing things where I don't have consistency in how I can train. But this last couple months, I've had consistency. So I've got a pull-up bar just over in the kitchen area, hanging over the pantry, and I visit that multiple times a day. So I'm not going to do 7,000 pull-ups. That's simply too many. So I started and added 5 extra pull-ups every day. And let's see, I did 135 today. Tomorrow I've got 140. I think at the end of the month, I'm at 170 pull-ups or something like that. And they're getting easier, which is fantastic. And again, the only way I can do it is just patiently chipping away. Okay, getting up, doing another set. Time to head out for my run. Let me just get a set in beforehand, set in after. And it also gets it done. So the results that you get from exercise and training, again, patience is a incredible virtue. So all this mileage I've been doing, all of this this weird pyramid style workout is paying off nicely. With I'm actually probably in better shape than I've been in a really long time, and that's kind of a nice thing in these difficult COVID times. And so next month, I'm going to be doing a writing pyramid. I'm going to include push-ups and pull-ups in the everyday's activities. I won't do quite as many, of course, do them a little bit more consistently, but I'll have writing blocks, and I'll be working on my project, which is called the Unicorn Manifesto. So I'd love in the comments for you to make suggestions on things to talk about in the future. If you'd like, if you've got questions also, please post them up. I've got a little hopper on my other screen desktop here, which has ideas for future Full Tilt Fridays. This has been a little bit of a long-winded one. Like I say, it's a bit of an experiment, but my idea is to get out and make contact with you folks more frequently than I have in the past. Ways to support, of course, if you want, subscribe, please subscribe. I've got my Instagram as well, which you can follow, which is @KerryWard, KerryWard. If you are already on that, fantastic. Thank you. If you're not, jump on. I try and share a good bit of positive content through there. And there's also Patreon. If you feel like you're getting value from the things we share and that you see through YouTube, that would be fantastic. In the next couple of days, look for a video out. It has to do with failure, meaning I'm usually somebody who tries to get it done almost no matter what. But there's a certain point where you have to just call it good, turn around, throw in the white flag. And we did my buddy Pat and Dan and I, we were going to do this traverse through this rather snowy, very crumbly, rocky ridge near Whistler called the Armchair Traverse. And we failed. So look for that video come out in the next week or so. All right. Peace out, guys. Yeah. Thanks, Silver Age Dave. Yes, everybody hit that like button if you could. Cheers, guys. Be patient.